Rosalind Jeffries, and I am an art historian and curator. I'm also an author. I am a graduate of Yale University History of Art Department, and I have worked at the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York City and at many colleges, universities in the New York, New Jersey area, including NYU, where I was employed by Flora Kaplan under Museum Studies. I'm also involved in the education, public and university level education. I've taught at Montclair State College and Jersey City State University. And I was involved in the writing of this book, which is African American History, A Journey of Liberation, so that I do African American history and I do world culture. The course that I teach is in race and ethnic relations, as well as African art and African American history and other courses as well. But this book, Molefi Asante, Dr. Asante from Temple University, is the main author, but I was hired as an art historian to write numerous color plates, pages, sections in here doing art historical work. And I begin with ancient Egypt, as you see, showing that as a part of the history of Africa that came to be a part of the history of African Americans. I was involved in Jersey City at the African American Historical Society with the Underground Railroad that we found down at Paulus Hook. And Neil Brunson, Ted Brunson were involved, and also Mayor Shundler and Mayor Glenn Cunningham was a part of the project, and so we were proud of that. So there are many projects that I have been involved in. Can't list them certainly all here, but from way back, you can imagine when I was young. This is an article from the New York Times, 1986, and it shows me here as an art curator for an exhibition that was the same time as MoMA, the Museum of Modern Art, had an exhibit on contemporary. So showing you the contemporary compared to the antiquities. And that's what I am. In Africa, they gave me the name Esiabebio, which means grandmother has returned. Also the Nigerians, Iyamide, which is a name that means grandmother has returned. So the ancient, along with the contemporary, is what I have returned to be involved with. Some of my writings in Africa, the lectures had to do with this: Sahara Cave Art to Nile Valley and Diffusion, Eastern to Western Sudan, Congo, the Turi Forest of Southern Africa. And I presented this to an audience December 2010, of art historians, archaeologists, and professional and non-professional people, where I traced the origin of the caduceus symbol back to Africa. And so that's the symbol that we all know, we see on the ambulance, etc. And here in it is a picture that shows cave art of the Sahara, 8,000 BC, some 6,000 BC. The solar disk and the rays, instead of going out in all directions, begin to taper off to form what would be wings of a bird. And then we end up tracing that same image back across the continent, so that Nigeria, 900 AD, we see wings of a bird and a little circle on top, and the etching into the skin, because people want to identify so badly with God Supreme, and that became the symbol of that we know that went to Assyria, and then the striated lines, we can thus conjecture that perhaps these two are bird wings with the solar disk on top of the head. So that the things that I have been writing about are indeed unusual or pace-making. And with just that one thing, you know that I'm involved in some brand new work, some with biblical data and material, and other things related to the hieroglyphics, because I have been learning the hieroglyphics. And also traveling to many, many places throughout the world. Thank you. Now, if you are interested in contacting me directly, because I do lectures, both for community groups and also museums and other occasions, other events, you can get me at my email, which is Rosalind, ROSALIND, Jeffries, JEFFRIES, at me.com.